2012 is a really interesting time. It is part of the change of moving from the culture of death, which is one of economic exploitation, alienation, and separation, to the culture of life and liberation, in which peace, love, harmony, and God awareness are at the center of our consciousness. This started in 1992, and we're having this basically a 20-year gap to begin to change our behavior so that we will really be able to move more fully in the culture of life and liberation. A few years ago, at our spirit dance here in Patagonia, Arizona, which is the old ghost dance, I had a vision. And the vision was that 2012 was just a turning point where the playing field between the forces of dark and forces of light began to shift with a slight predominance of the forces of life and liberation. And then in 2026, the shift would become more strong. And then in 2039, we would be stabilized in the age of peace, the culture of life and liberation. Okay, so we checked this out. I had access to Don Alejandra, who's a Mayan elder, and he agreed. He agreed that 2025, 2026, they saw 2025, it would be another turning point, and then 2039 would be a stabilization point. So it was really beautiful to feel the correlation. In that context, what we need to see is what Donna Alejandra said. We're all not all that accurate. So somewhere between 2010 and a half and 2013 and a half or 2014 is, a major type of shift happening for us. It's not the beginning of the world, it's not the end of the world. It is an evolutionary step. Somewhat like the harmonic convergence in 1987, where it took a few years before the Berlin Wall fell and Russia disintegrated as a military power. So we want to do away with our fantasies of disaster and trouble, just like in 1979 it didn't really happen, in 1989 it didn't really happen, 1999 the Y2K didn't really happen. But we tend to get into this paranoid, negative thinking, which certainly affects the consciousness of what's going on. So if we can just step back and say, okay, there are changes happening now. The whole world economic system is changing. We're really going to move to an economy that is transparent. It'll be a world economy in a very positive way, moving to perhaps a golden standard versus fiat money. Now that's just an example of the kind of thing that's happening. We're really talking about a shift in consciousness. We're really talking about people waking up. We're really talking about people beginning to understand that the forces of darkness have made every effort possible to dumb people down. The threat of mass vaccinations, genetically engineered food, irradiated food, chemtrails are all efforts to make our 5-sense biocomputer mind less functional. And the message here is that when we have a really healthy 5-sense biocomputer mind, we can do the most important thing as human beings. We can go beyond the 5-sense biocomputer mind, out of the matrix, into the world of the culture of life and liberation. This is really what this is about. So we're in this shift time. Our role is to make the shift. Every action start with thoughts of love. Our role is to be more in service. Our role is to go beyond the alienation and separation of the culture of death into the natural way of living, natural foods, organic foods, live foods, so that we can shift our consciousness. More in meditation, more service, more good deeds. And we don't need 100% good deeds. We don't need to be 100% perfect. That wouldn't work. That's not the human way to be 100% perfect. But if we can be 51%, 52%, 60% doing good deeds, starting our acts with love, we are really co-participating in the energies that are coming onto the planet, they're going to peak in 2012. But they're going to keep going. But it's up to us as we go beyond the culture of death into the beauty and the enlightenment of the culture of life and liberation. So we really invite you to join the party.